We will go from Chicago to Indiana to Michigan and every state where there's a Walmart.
All those cities that they mentioned, Chicago, Indiana to Michigan, all those cities, Walmart probably thinking about, oh, Indiana, we already closed those stores. No need. We got you covered.
That's a 5-day notice. How disrespectful is that to anybody? A 5-day notice.
Outrage over Walmart's decision to shutter 4 Chicago locations.
Community leaders on the South Side threatening mass demonstrations should the company decide to move forward with the decision.
Anthony Ponce joins us now with more. Hi, Anthony.
Yes, Dawn and Corey, leaders on the South Side say that Chatham has come to depend on the Superstore at 85th and Stewart, especially the seniors who rely on this location to fill their prescriptions. They are now threatening protests and perhaps even a boycott if Walmart closes that location.
Walmart is divesting. They tired of getting their stuff stolen. That's what they're doing. They're divesting in the community. They said they wanted to help in racial equality, but you can't help people that they don't help themselves. And you see how the older individuals are showing up for these protests and to plead with Walmart. Productive citizens. These probably people that worked all their lives, but the people that are causing the problem for them, they're not protesting against that. And they keep on electing officials in that city to not even combat crime. This is a report from CNN. Why Walmart is closing half its stores in Chicago. Now, Walmart has currently 8 locations in Chicago. It's planning to close 4 of them. It said it committed in 2020 to expand in the city as a part of corporate racial justice initiative in the wake of George Floyd murder. I tell you, why would you do that as a corporation? I wouldn't have did that. Walmart announced Tuesday the next week it would close 4 poor performing stores out of the 8 it operates in Chicago. 3 of the locations are located in Chicago's South Side and West Side neighborhoods, which are predominantly minority and have long struggled with groceries and retail access. How's that Walmart for? We talk about food deserts and stuff that happens to minority or urban areas all the time. People that live in those areas, they claim they don't have access to groceries and all this stuff. But it's hard to be in business. Just think, Walmart is a $1 billion corporation. Do you think a small business can survive the death? Probably not. They probably would have been shut their doors down. They probably wouldn't have lasted 2 years. It says have long struggle. One of the stores in Chicago North Side, which is predominantly white and more affluent. The announcement comes after the Walmart highlighted its efforts in Chicago as a critical part of its broader $100 million pledge to advancing racial equality. Chicago will be an example of what's possible when we leverage business, government, community organization for the good of all. This was Doug McMillon said in 2021. I bet you he regrets that statement too. And Chicagoans, residents is probably looking at him like, you said you was going to do this. And it only took them 2 years to say, oh, no, it's not worth it. It also follows more than a decade of intense efforts by Chicago political leaders to draw Walmart and other chains to underserved areas to spur economic development. No, all it spurs is crime. It's not economic development. Well, number one, how can it be economic development if it's they're paying below average wages, number one? Okay, so let's talk about Walmart on that front. Walmart doesn't pay good enough wages to spur economic development. I'm sorry. Maybe, you know, some people probably do need those jobs, but Chicago is expensive to live in. And then I work at Walmart. I can walk to catch the bus system, because one thing about Chicago, they do have a mass transit system. So I don't need a car. I could catch the bus there. But can I afford rent if they only paying me $15 an hour? Probably not. If you're a single person only making $15 an hour, you making what, $30,000 a year? Probably not even that. $25,000 a year. Your rent probably like $800-900 a month. You can't afford to live. You gotta have roommates. Put it like this: Walmart is not in for the long haul. They want to make their money. That's how they became a $1 billion corporation. They became a $1 billion corporation because they could drive prices down from their suppliers and keep the prices low and also pay people low. So they're all about the dollar. So when you're saying, oh, why are you leaving us? I thought you was committed. Well, they don't want their shit stolen either. The closure calls attention to recent pullback in major U.S. cities by Walmart and other national chains. They also raised the question about the effectiveness of government strategies that closely rely on national chains to improve food and retail access in underserved areas. Look, the government strategies don't work. How are you going to strategize something if you can't offer protection? Oh, yeah, I want to bring my goods and services, but if I don't have police protection for little Pookie and Ray Ray to come in and steal it, that's not a... Look, government strategies got to be all-inclusive. You can't just say, oh, we're going to bring all these social programs and don't offer protection for the people. Nobody going to want to do it. You want $1 billion corporations to invest in corporate or cities, and you getting your stuff stolen. Why should I take a loss? Why should I commit to the cause? No, I started a business because I wanted to make money, not lose money. My name ain't Mother Teresa. So.
Everybody say enough is enough. Come on, say enough is enough.
That short chant could just be a preview of what's to come should Walmart move forward.
That's Walmart. Walmart is saying that enough is enough. What are you talking about? Walmart like, okay, I've been saying the same thing too for the last 2 years.
To close the doors of its Chatham location this weekend, as it announced earlier this week.
If Walmart leaves us, we will leave Walmart.
Father Michael Flager and others threatening a protest big enough to shut down another Walmart location should the company not reconsider.
We will go from Chicago to Indiana to Michigan and every state where there's a Walmart.
Because we are already closing them stores down. Michigan, I think they got a Walmart on 8 Mile. They might be closing that one down. I'm not for sure how that one's doing, but it's like 8 Mile on the east side somewhere. They might close it. I'm not for sure. But Walmart, they're in the business of making money. They want to make their money.
State where there's a Walmart, and the same black and brown people who make this store will be the same black and brown people that walk away from this store.
The same black and brown people who steal from the store will be the same black and brown people who go to the store and steal again and go to the next store and steal. It doesn't matter. They're trying to act like, listen here, and I'm not saying all black and brown people steal. I'm not saying that because I'm a black and brown person. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you're being unreasonable. These people are being unreasonable, because how can you tell a business to stay, hey, stick it out, all the while where they lose money, like they lose bleeding money. So Walmart is saying it's not worth it.
They say Walmart promised to help revitalize Chatham long-term through its pharmacy, health center, and Walmart Teaching Academy, and feel betrayed by this week's announcement.
So Walmart, you better listen, you better sit down. Otherwise, understand that this won't be the only store you'll be closing down, because we're not going to keep supporting places that disrespect the community. This is unacceptable, and we won't allow it anymore.
As of right now, the store is scheduled to close permanently after this weekend. Unconfirmed reports say it's going to be keeping a pharmacy open there for another few weeks. The company says its Chatham location and 3 others have not been profitable since the early 2000s.
They haven't been profitable since the early 2000s. All the other stores is probably carrying them. Why would they stay open? That's just like insanity. Doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. That's not going to happen.
Walmart is moving out, closing half of its stores in Chicago, saying they haven't been profitable in 17 years and lose millions of dollars a year. Mayor Lightfoot calls the decision disappointing. In a statement released today, she wrote, in part, unceremoniously abandoning these neighborhoods will create barriers to basic needs for thousands of residents. While near-term arrangements will be made for workers, I fear that many will find that their long-term opportunities have been significantly diminished. And Southside elected officials are also responding, issuing a joint statement, and it reads in part,
look, Mayor Lightfoot has her nerve. You guys believe in defunding the police. Chicago is riddled with crime. And you have the nerve to scold Walmart about their actions. What about your actions? What have you did for the people in Chicago? The productive citizens of Chicago. The law-abiding citizens in Chicago. Nothing. And you have your nerve to say, oh, it's going to cause neighborhoods would create barriers to basic needs for thousands of residents. You created that. You could have changed that.
Closing 4 stores in 5 days is unethical, especially since Walmart claims these stores have not been profitable since 2006. If Walmart cared about the community they belong to for nearly 2 decades, they would have implemented strategies to combat the rising prices, the likely root cause of their decline in earnings.
No, you can't put that on Walmart. This is because the high level of crime. It's not because of anything else. Because we got these cities where they're talking about defund the police and they like screw the general public. It's really ridiculous. And they expect Walmart to foot the bill for their nonsense, for this progressive nonsense and defunding the police. You guys let me know what you think.